What's up, everybody? What's going on? And then, day before Independence Day, figured we'd go all out, make America great again. Fuck yeah. uh, but yeah, for those of you, if you voted for Biden, or for everybody else, I don't care. What your politics right here, honestly, if this sign this hat triggers you, well, anyway, we're here to talk about comic books. So. And we cannot talk about the fact that Independence Day is tomorrow. That being said, there will not be a reading tomorrow because it's 4th of July. If there is anything, it might be by myself, unless Eric's got something, going on. If you're not busy, you join me. I might do a short reading by myself. Do Captain America or something. I don't know. But anyway. Yeah, let's get into the comic books this week. And hello to Zach, who made it on time.
I was early, man. Give me some credit. I was the first one here, doggone it.
Did they kick you out of church?
No, we had an early dismissal. We had an earlier night because it is the night before 4th of July, and we're having a get-together tomorrow, so the host home has a lot of work to do, so we kind of cut it short.
Dude, I've been running around since 2 o'clock this afternoon and just shopping, getting some last-minute shopping done, and I get some bird seed, and I had some, while I was there, I figured I'll get some trail mix at the general store. If you ever heard of Tractor Supply, it's like a bigger store, bigger version of that.
I lived in Texas for 2 years. Of course I know about Tractor Supply.
So we have Fleet Farms and Farm Fleets up here, so I go over there and I get all my stuff. But get the Hornet spray and all that stuff, all the good stuff in your yard, everything you should have for house owners.
I had to go pick up a friend of mine from a bus stop this morning. He drove in. He came out on the bus from Texas. He's going to have 4th of July with us tomorrow. And then I had just some work stuff to go get done. Grab some coffee. I'm actually waking up very early tomorrow because I have to take Izzy to the airport. She's flying out to California. She's going to spend 4th of July with her brother tomorrow. And then her birthday is Tuesday. So she'll be
Are they having 4th of July or protests?
4th of July. Dude, California, listen, for all that I like to make fun of California, they don't mess around when it comes to rebelling on 4th of July. When they do fireworks after the state says no fireworks, that's I'm proud of California.
So it was 4th of July, the only day they're patriotic?
I guess so. But you know what? It's so cool looking. I don't mind that it's just one day a year. I'm proud of them. But no, they're gonna be doing jujitsu. He has a gym he goes to, and so she's gonna be doing some jujitsu stuff.
Nice.
With her niece. So,
I found out something pretty interesting today.
What's that?
I set off metal detectors.
Oh, you have metal on your body?
My knee.
Yep, that'll do it.
Yep. Because you got that platinum screw.
Yep.
Or titanium, whatever it is.
Now you're like Wolverine now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I had to. I can't find my social security card, so I had to go try and get it replaced. And I walked in and set the metal detector off, and I'm like, I took everything out of my pockets and said, well, this could be my glasses. And the guy, well, let's see, and he, beep down by my knee. I'm like, oh yeah. So got an artificial knee here.
I wouldn't say Wolverine. I'd say more like Old Man Logan. Because your Billy Factor is not doing so well. You got a fracture in your leg. Jeez. So.
But there is an 8-inch scar down there, so I am technically packing 8 inches below the waist, as long as I don't say where.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's your gut going over.
Hey, that's a lot. Hey, I'm down 115 pounds there, sunshine. So.
That's good. All these freaking bots, man. Twitch is worse than. Remember when YouTube used to be all full of bots? Right now on
yes, a little bit.
On Twitch, we have tons and tons of bots that just come in there and just I love your stream, like it says right here. Hi, I'm a random bot. I love your stream. I would like to be a fan. Add me up in Discord. My blah blah blah. And if you're not a bot, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be nice to you because don't give out your stuff like that. Your information.
So when the AI rises up to overtake us, they're coming for you first.
You know what? I'm all set. I got tons of batteries. I got some EMPs. We'll go. All right.
You were mean to Callan is 060. You must die.
We remember at this exact time. So.
Hey, look, there's another one. There's another bot that goes by Jay Lucian.
Yeah, it's
the J bot. I've heard about that.
It's Razor Ramon.
the J bot, isn't that what's her name? Jennifer Lopez.
Sure.
Well, she's not human, man.
She is probably more plastic now than anything.
You know where she got her start?
Derek
The Living Color.
Yep. She was a fly
Fly
girl.
girl. Yep.
Nice. That's how they all start. Then they go to the streets. Anyway, who wants to go first?
You.
All right. Good night, everybody. Breen never wants to. I feel like Breen never wants to go first. He's like, let me go last so I can watch TV for an hour and a half.
Well, I mean, we figure it's your channel, so you go to first. I mean,
that's true.
Yeah.
Shoot.
I want to go to war. Yeah. Let's nuke the Middle East, bro.
I don't like that idea. Let's not trigger biblical end times prophecies. Let's not do that.
We're
already happening with you. Dude, it's been happening since, what do you think we were in?
Let's not push it further than it needs to go.
No, we'll be fine. Right, I'll go first. Just make the hat bigger. That's what you guys wanted.
How many do you have?
I have 9 today. Plus some back issues.
9.
Worst book of the week. Great cover. Sam Hamm pretty much just rushed everything into his final issue. We waited
What an unfortunate name, Sam Hamm.
Yep. We waited 6 months for this. Just basically everything rushed. Batman is pretty much just if you guys recall, or if you haven't, he was in Arkham trying to figure out who killed Dr. Hugo Strange, and he posed as Firefly, and now he's going after Dr. Crane. Dr. Crane ends up getting kidnapped. And I love the one of the few positives this really book has. The art is done pretty well. It's not bad. It's not, you also have the characters, I guess, based on what they would have been in the movie. The only problem is that the writer of the Batman 89 stuff, I feel like he had no direction where how to end this, where I was going to go with this. And that's probably why they didn't continue with his stuff. But turns out we have a guy here who's escaping here. Turns out that's Ra's al Ghul. Ra's al Ghul had been inside Arkham this whole entire time as an old man, and now he's revived 40 years younger. We have Robin, who's now known as Nightwing, and he has his group of Robins that help him out, which I still don't understand. It just feels like he's just grabbing and just adding things in. But he's trying to stop them from taking Crane. He runs, and then meanwhile, we got Harley Quinn, who pretty much wants to go on TV, and then she basically is about to, hatch out or win, I guess. But here's the big issue with this whole entire book. We're 6 issues in, and Harley Quinn never even met. So as she is like this, she as a criminal, she never met Batman, but Dr. Quinzel did run into Bruce Wayne. But other than that, though, no one stops her. When it comes to this crap. Her taking over, she's getting revenge on her boss because she was inspired when she interviewed Catwoman, Selina Kyle. And she didn't realize that Selina Kyle actually was Catwoman, and she actually thought that Catwoman, Selina Kyle was just making up a high society fancy, thing for fame and attention, whatever. So anyway, it's like I said, it's in a hot mess. A sniper takes out the window, and while they got the laughing gas, not the laughing gas, but the fear gas coming up from the basement of the building going in. We got Batman trying to stop Ra's al Ghul from escaping and getting the fear gas, taking with them. So he ends up basically capturing him, and then they have a conversation. And the guy basically Ra's al Ghul does the class thing where I know who you are, and tries to talk him into basically we're a lot alike. Tries to get him into basically disjoining him, and it's a lot. And then we got the guy down here who I forgot what his actor name was. He was always the gay guy in all the movies. He, if you remember watching Independence Day, he was the gay guy that was helping out Jeff Goldblum, or not Jeff Goldblum. Forget what his name was. But she ends up Harley Quinn ends up after that guy died, kills himself. She's rescued by Selena Kyle, and then basically they decide to go on and have an adventure together. Those two leave together. Like I said, it's such a really awful book. Crane is rescued and returned to custody. Meanwhile, Barbara Gordon comes down, and she basically she's taken back to the Batcave, and she says like, "I've known you guys all her time," and Robin says like, she's like, "Alfred, please, I can make one call to GCP. They'll bring in the FBI and the military and the cops." And then so basically Alfred says, or no, Nightwing says, and then the cops get the fear juice. You like that, wouldn't you, cop? Because he doesn't like cops. Because remember, they went with the whole urban like setting for him, making him from like the hood, the project, so he hates cops. Which it's one of the many flaws of this series. Definitely not a recommend, but unless you just really like Elseworld stories. But basically, they need to go rescue Bruce because Bruce decided to take these 3 little tablets. Alfred says he only takes them again when he says is the last day I'll be Batman. Basically, what these are like venom capsules that allow him to basically just go full on rage mode until his heart stops. And so Gordon, what's her name is Barbara Gordon is forced to wear one of Bruce's costumes. They go inside the Batwing, and they go out to save Bruce. They end up saving him, but only after Bruce like kicks a lot of ass. And then they're attacked by machine gun fire. They crash, but because Bruce is a smart person in this, and they compete with the Keaton thing, his if you remember in the movie Batman Forever, how his Batwing turned into a boat, and this it turns into a car. So they're able to drive away and land. And hello to Paul Maven over on watching our Twitch. We are streaming live on Twitch and YouTube at the same time. So if you're not subscribed on YouTube, go to YouTube and you get all the backlog. Because Twitch doesn't like to keep a backlog unless you're like a partner. But yeah, like I said, it just felt so rushed. Harley Quinn gets away with Selena Kyle, and they get Crane back, and then Crane goes into custody. And then, it's basically hinted at that Harley Quinn's in, goes there and basically shoots him and kills him in Arkham, and that's how it ends. Like I said, very, very bad book. But cover art, and the only reason I really got was getting the series because it's Michael Keaton, a Batman. But I should have listened to my conscience saying this is 2025 Michael Keaton DC Comics. This isn't in the early 90s. So, all right. Number 8 for this week is JSA. I thought it was done pretty well. There was stuff happened in there. It's nice to see a book, that has a bunch of people and stuff actually happens. Last issue started a trend. So they continued it with basically having Dr. Midnight, the new one, Beth, basically Chapel, basically rescue Obsidian. They're leaving the compound away from all the villains, and they're being pursued by Scandal Savage. Those two have a fight, and basically, like she basically knocks her out. Beth Chapel gets knocked out. They're Drake for a while. Meanwhile, in this labyrinth, we got Hakim is with the real Obsidian, and they're trying to find their way out. They run into a guy. They're not sure who he is, but he turns into this giant monster. And they find they find the real Johnny Thunder, and he's like, hey, we got to see the magic word. He's like, in order to get help. And she's like, so him and Hakim and Johnny Thunder both say the word, CU, and they get Thunder helps them out, and then we kind of figure out where they are.
It's Jakeem, not Hakim.
You know what? Huck to you. at this point. So the creature that's fighting them calls Thunder by his real name, which is Yiz, YZ. Yeats? I don't know.
Yeezy.
And then he finds out, and then he calls him. He's like, hey, I know who you are. You're actually Quist or KW or no QWSP, I guess. Yeah, they're trapped in the fifth dimension. Is where they are this whole entire time. How? If his body is over in being drained by Beth.
It's blind. His mind is there.
Yeah, his mind is weird. And we get Jade basically coming to her father, and she's like, "Oh, I didn't hear you sneak up on me. I must be getting old at my age, or you're not Batman. You're not observant." Anyway, they're confronted by the fake Obsidian, and he wants to know where Hector Hall, or is it Hector? No, it's not.
No,
it's
not
Carter
Hector.
Hall. Carter Hall. Hector's the son. Yeah.
Yeah.
Carter basically hires us as a place is called his Hawk Nest, where he hid the Spear Destiny and everything else. So it all makes sense. It sounds like the villains just want to get their hand on the Spear Destiny. They got the Helmet of Fate. For what purposes we don't know, but it's not good. So he tells Obsidian, like, it's on Blackhaven Island. So the villains are like we're watching in with 4K TV. Now know.
4K,
right? Meanwhile, we got Khalid. Pronounce it.
That's Khalid. Khalid.
Khalid.
I think it's Khalid. Because there
Or is it Khalid? Okay.
There have been some athletes with that name, and
there's DJ Khaled too.
Yeah, Khalid. You pronounce it the way you want to pronounce it. He talks to Yolanda, and honestly, I'm not. My first. I'm trying to find a word that doesn't sound dirty. I don't want to say exposure, but my first interaction, or I guess knowing about this character was on this at Stargirl CW show. I never really knew that she existed, So I got used to her with the black hair, but here she's got her hair dyed red. I guess she's still the same nationality as she was, Hispanic or something like that, or Puerto Rican. But she's obviously a lot older in this series. She's about she's in her 20s, I think. So basically, he tells her, he's like, dude, I understand that you're upset about Ted, but Ted would basically tell us, get off your ass. And, you made a mistake. You get back up, And he basically gives her the ultimatum and walks away with her. And then so this whole issue feels like back and forth. It's like a cat watching a laser. Because there's so much thing going on and packed in this issue, which is nice sometimes. But sometimes I just want just give me a section of this character instead of going back and forth. But Beth is pretty much the point where she had said in the beginning that she almost had frostbite in her fingers and her toes and stuff, and she's freezing. And then she basically plays dead, and then gets up and has one more battle with Scandal, and then knocks her out, pretty much.
Mama said, "Knock you out."
Right. And then she uses Scandal's basically her wristwatch and basically reprograms it to a signal communicator because she wants to get a hold of her team, which she does. And she says, dude, that's not Obsidian behind you because he's with me. And they're like, oh shit, my bad. And reveals who he is. He's Johnny Sorrow the whole entire time, which we know. It just feels like these heroes are just kind of dumbed down. They didn't notice that they're being played. That's one of my biggest problem with this whole entire series. I guess. I don't know what's up with Alan, Scott. He said maybe he is getting old. That's why he didn't recognize his own son. That it wasn't his son, and then his daughter, just hear his daughter sneaking up on him. I don't know. But again, this is also based on the writer. It
looks like his son, and it sounds like his son, and he's been estranged from his son.
Yeah, and he just got back from hell too. So,
but what's the thing? I don't know the full story about that.
And Dad just got back from the docks.
Oh my gosh!
Like I said, every writer changes it, so I don't know which version of each of them are. I just know that he's gay, and that's because that's all they ever talk about with Alan Scott, that he's gay. They don't talk about anything else he goes through. So, and the last time I mentioned anything with Obsidian, is the Goyer one, which I have not read all the way through, with Johns. So I don't know that he's
Jeff Lemire for not trafficking in this series.
Yeah.
I don't think it's been a mention.
Yeah.
It has not. You're
so
correct.
It just felt kind of weird to me, but yeah. Laser, you say yes, evil like that. Number 7 this week is Scorched. The team's all back together pretty much, and now they're going after these database. They're going through a database that what's his name here had Jason Wynn's files. He had all these hidden files on all these different places of interest that that he was keeping an eye on around the world, and so the team's going there to figure out this first one, what it is, and just figure out. But first of all, the female haunt that we were introduced a couple of issues ago has been going on murdering people, and really murdering people. Meanwhile, Haunt, pretty much I forgot what the guy's name is. It's Daniel or something. Basically gave up being Haunt and said he's done with the business, going back to being a priest. Even though his brother pretty much called him, he said, "Dude, you're being stupid, being pig-headed." All because he got his feelings hurt, So yeah, that's what's going on with that. And so he's not with the team. They're going to this place here. It's called up in the Bavarian Alps. This is 2 weeks. This takes 2 weeks era before the female haunt kills people. That scene, and 2 guys are like, I love this. Like, dude, just do your job and don't fall asleep. We can't afford to leave this gig. They're like, okay, bro. They're like, and then she comes and kills them. Kind of feel bad for these guys, man. Like, they weren't even evil. They were just there, just discarding, getting a paycheck, and they get getting killed because she doesn't want to leave it. She spawned doesn't want to leave any witnesses whatsoever. We got Redeemer and Reaper, who are basically the same person, but that Reaper is actually from the future. So we talk about how since they found out those two have been inseparable, so they basically work really well as a team. Then we got with Medieval basically working basically Medieval. I love Medieval. He's pretty much like the Hulk at this point. His human host, which is Mark, is pretty much the smart one. He's the one that does all the tech stuff. They basically agree to revert back to one another in order to what the team needs. So Mark was able to rebuild Overkill, who's now on the team, replacing Haunt. And yeah, we get a nice group shot of the team here going in, and pretty much they have no idea what this is, but I don't know if it's Jason Jason Wilder wants it. It must be horrible, and of course it is. It's a portal to hell. Seems like the humans here, scientists, were making deals with demons from hell, weapon exchange. So they go in, and we get this. Basically, the whole issue is just the team working together and just killing a bunch of monsters as they advance on. So, like I said, it's Steven Segoya is still doing the art in here. John Layman's doing the story. It's an okay. It's not the best writing I come across, but right now it's pretty much it's slightly better than mid. Definitely building up to something, and of course we go back to Kilgore, basically a Quinn team. They're worried about because there's Jason also had files on the female haunt who's keeping track of it. He says, "Oh, that's not good. We need to contact haunt because he might be in trouble." And of course he is, because this female haunt is gonna basically kill him. And just Jason wins. I keep saying Jason Wiley, but yeah. Like I said, it's pretty cool. And I believe this is $3.99 for this. It used to be $2.99. They jumped it up to $3.99, but it's been pretty cool. Preview for the next issue. So, Spawn is a series I really didn't really get into, but as far as that series, because it doesn't have the main Spawn guy, and then it kind of feels a lot more like a kind of like the Boys or the Losers or any team pretty much now that's like a bunch of misfits put together. Maybe like the Thunderbolts, I'm not sure, because they don't always get together and work together. My number 6, Patrick Kindland and Missouri Rosenweg or Rizzo. It's called Gehenna, Naked Aggression. This is cover B.
It's false advertising. She's not naked.
Not yet. But it's basically what this book reminds you of is Torrent. This is a woman who basically her husband and baby were murdered by these because her husband worked security, and one night at the club, this guy got a line and he ended up punching the guy. So then it turned out this guy's connected to the mob, and they wanted retaliation, so they had to go on the run, and they ended up shooting her infant child and her husband, killing them. So now she's out for revenge, and taking down. She doesn't care what mob it is. She's taking all the mobs down. Like I said, the art is kind of rough, but it's better. It's good for independent though, but by my standards at least. Yeah. And so far, no hint of sexuality whatsoever, other than the fact that she had a child and she had had a husband. She ends up in this issue and kidnapping this one gangster's son and holding him hostage, and hoping the fact that they won't figure out that she's not going to kill a kid because she doesn't kill kids. But it's basically her trying to escape with the kid without being killed, so you can use it for leverage. And just basically, the whole series. I was reading the back of the book. The writer said when they came up with this series, they just wanted to write something fun. They don't care about anything, the comic code whatsoever. They just want to have fun, and that's what the book is aimed to be. It's just basically a lot of gunfights and fun, with the story. And I love this how it goes into like the widespread pages for part 2. Obstacles, of course, they're on the rooftop and they had to get across. So now she tells the kids like, "Hey, find something we can walk across." So she makes the kid put the board across, and you got these goons who work for the guy. I'm not sure if they're cops or whatever, but they basically are going to try and shoot him. And he's like, "Dude, you idiot! If you hit the kid, we're both dead." So some cliche stuff. And then we get the flashback of her husband, who basically looked like either Harold Ramis or Michael Richards. You take your pick. Yeah. And tells a story about basically how he was murdered. But overall, like I said, that's a very fun book. I did not expect it to be this good for an independent book. And so she ends up getting away. The guys trying to run her down with a car. She turns around and she brutally murders them. As she flips over the hood, she shoots them with a shotgun, killing both of them instantly, and gets out of there. Now we got this detective here. These two detectives. One's practically almost falling on her top. And it says like, they're connected to the mob. Is like, explain what happened, how this girl's a professional. We need to take her down. So the blonde says, I don't need your goons. Look how your goons worked out today. They all got killed. And, she says, I'll do it on my own. But I just love these 2-page spreads for each chapter. Because they're talking about how it happened. How they tried to run over, but she basically flipped over and shot him. So, yeah. We're gonna end up getting the blonde versus the brunette in this, which I don't think there will be any scissoring. I think it's gonna be more like what was that book called? Not Lady Jane. What's the other one? Jennifer Blood. So it feels like almost a little bit. She ends up killing this couple, basically holding them hostage, and basically has them help them get out of there so they can get up and we get to learn more as it goes around. They keep sprinkling in what happened to her family. You know, they're at the hotel. The door. So he answers the door. The baby gets shot. You know, he gets shot. But so far, the baby doesn't get killed in this, though. So I don't know where the baby is now. I assume the baby's probably dead too. But yeah, they're showing issue 2 out next month, and this is like the black and white version of it. So, like I said, I thought it was pretty good for an indie book. But like he says, you know, so basically, the guy like here, okay, in the background, he says, you know. He said, the guy, the author saw. He says, like, you know, it says, like, the character is demonstrating the process of their powers, even if it's just a willingness to kick men in the chest, has always been my thing. I'm one of the rare reader who put samurai executioner over lone wolf and cub for exactly this reason. I felt like I was learning a valuable skill in every chapter. That title, what if someday the man I am tasked with asked me to see the one cherry bosses one time? Often I feel like I'm not being instructed by comic books, but educated, given lessons, sure, but it's not like I'm learning a trade. Or like someone's unlikable aunt is a substitute teacher, and boy, does she have something to prove. I want to chop off the evildoers' heads. I want to learn how to survive a submarine explosion. Need to teach, then teach me how to cut a tracking device out of my neck. I'm tired of being educated. As a certified adult, I require no sage-like wisdom or wise sagedom. Above all, no moral guidance. What I need is stories where men get kicked in the chest, stories where guns run on ammo for dramatic effect. I need pulp. I need exploitation. I need fun. So that's why they made this book, because they said they weren't getting that, where they're just getting the educated books. So I know if it's not your art style, definitely check it out. You know, it's just for that. But I wasn't sure on a book because I was like, okay, I like it, I like it, but I don't like it until I read that by that guy in the back. I was like, well, now I'm interested in issue 2 for that reason. So, number 5. This is Justice League versus King Kong, number 2. And what I noticed, I thought that I was shocked when I opened this up. There's no A cover in there, which I was kind of happy about this. We got the Legion of Doom, Lex Luthor, and I forgot that this is not tied to the main universe. So this is just evil Lex. And I forgot in the first issue that when they went looking for Lex Luthor, apparently that she approached Superman, telling me that, hey, I'm looking for Lex. I'm concerned that Lex is missing. You know, so which is kind of funny because that's what happened right now in the main story. But 4 years after G-Day, after the first events, now they're in there. Kong is pretty much where they landed. They have to go to the Stargate portal. Kong is pretty much doesn't recognize them, doesn't remember them, and also for some reason Superman and Supergirl don't have their full power sets. They're kind of weakened in this. But as they're about to be killed by King Kong, we get King Croc. I thought that was pretty cool. Only for him to get his ass kicked by a giant gorilla and dies. You know, Supergirl she keeps trying to basically stop Croc, or not Croc, but stop Kong, calm him down, but he won't listen to her. So finally, they get tired of it. It's like, since he won't listen, they don't want any more violence. So they basically just yeet him out of the way by super push in the back. And then they of course, whenever, because Batman's there, they have to study what happened. He notices what happened to Croc. He's early irradiated, and he says only one person who could have done this, Luthor. So they end up basically searching for Luthor, and of course Superman hears where he is. He's in his little jump car, which I think was from the movie, wasn't that? King Kong versus Godzilla, Zach?
One of them, yeah. They had that same kind of looking, yeah.
The one with the hot girl gets killed.
Yeah,
Isa, whatever it is, Gonzalez.
Isa Gonzalez, yeah.
So basically, like I said, this is very much. I'd say if you were a teenager, this is pretty cool. I mean, it is action packed. You got the giant kaiju's, and then you got the evil doers versus the the good guys. We got a good looking, a gigantress in here too. Superman ends up being shot, but it looks like kryptonite, I guess. Ramp or something like that. I don't know how they got that, but and then Superman's this is the only thing I didn't like is that Peacemaker was able to basically with no, as far as I know, he doesn't have any meta abilities, does he?
No, he's got super speed bullets in that one.
Yeah, but he has no super abilities at all. He can track down stuff.
Not that I'm aware of, not biologically, no.
So he's able to shoot, like I said, he's able to shoot Flash in the back with a super speed bullet, but it basically grazes his skull. It doesn't kill him, but it basically knocks him out, And yeah, as Superman confirms, he's like, I can't tell, the bullet's not in there, but he doesn't have a concussion. I don't know, he might. And the whole issue is basically Supergirl. Hey monkey, remember me? No. Hey monkey, remember me? No. And then of course we have everyone else in the Legion of Doom. It's pretty much you got Black Manta and Salty Captain Cold. And he's like, you better pray. And I don't understand that. I don't understand the word you just used on me because I'll kick your ass. Superman follows Lex and the guy who basically killed Waller. I forgot what his name is.
Lafayette, something Lafayette.
Yeah. And they go into Hollow Earth. And they're in there. And this is like, well, Lex comes out and they talk to him and he's like, it's like, hey, what are you doing here? And then hear rumble and then we start hearing the Donkey Kong music playing. And here comes all the monkeys. Scar, the one who battled Kong. But I don't know if he did in this universe. But yeah. Like I said, it was action-packed, but if you're looking for a more in-depth story, probably you want to skip that, if you want more serious. Right, number 3. Actually, number 4. Number 4 for this week for me was Ghostbusters, Dead Man's Chest. This story is getting better with this issue. I was kind of worried for $5, I was just gonna get more this bad storytelling. But it continues from I guess 2 or 3 months ago. I forget when the first issue came out, but it's got the kids from the movies. Whatever his name is, Fitz, whatever his name is, can't remember in the movie. Or basically he's Egon's nephew or grandson. Yeah, and with the girl from the Frozen Empire and the one before that, Afterlife. He's basically likes her, but they're celebrating their friendship anniversary. So he takes her on a tour. They first go to Statue of Liberty, and it's kind of awkward because they both like each other, but they don't want to say anything. They're attacked by giant space or not a space squid, but a ghost squid, octopus. Yeah, and on the way, he's telling people, he's like, dude, you might not want to take cover there. You might want to keep running down the stairs. Everybody else is panicking. And they help people get out. One guy almost falls over, and they catch him. And they're still flirting as they're holding out the guy. He's like, dude, can you pull me up? Meanwhile, they make it back onto Miss Liberty to get off the island on there. And he texts his mom 30 times. Too bad his mom is too busy with Paul Rudd, who basically is working on the top of do repairs on the Acto. But he's not really sure how to do it. And tries to fixing the trap. They're having problems because their daughter, she's nowhere to be found because she decided to ditch school and hang out with this other kid last issue who ended up having a saber who was being bullied. He took it to saber. Turned out he took the saber from his parents' room, and it's cursed. And it basically brought this ghost out of it. So they went to end up going and raise a cult shop to get more advice. Meanwhile, the guy's father comes in, pretty much starts asking where he is. And his name is Goober. I can't remember his name was. Gooberman?
Gooberman, yeah.
Yeah. He's like, dude, I recognize you. You're the guy from this YouTube channel. I love your channel. He basically goes to fan zone or fan mode. It's like, you're Dr. Dan, the science man. Your dismantling of the flat earth theory was nothing but Lego bricks and pop rocks. It was nothing but short of accelerating. And he just goes nuts over it. And she's like, okay, she's like, honey, let's ask him what he's really here for, you know. And he reveals that his son's missing, and she's like, well, yeah, my daughter's missing. Like, what? Yeah, our daughter's missing, and they basically make themselves look like they're not really that good parents, and they kind of admit it. And she's like, but hold on, I have Phoebe on my Track My Child app that every adult has in America, which is kind of sad. And of course, then she gets his message. She's like, oh, hang on, I got a text message that says, Mom, call me now. Mom, do you even care about my well-being? Mom, I'm about to die right now. Mom, kind of surprised you didn't reply to the last one. Mom, okay, seriously, in danger. Bring all the traps, starting with group chat with child services, because she kept ignoring him. So, yeah, and then they finally see on TV, oh, that's where he is, And so they're all there basically trying to stop this ghost, while Phoebe is basically ignoring their calls because she's with the boy that she likes from school. And she's more interested in him and learning more and more about the saber. And we get to learn that basically the saber belonged to this pirate who was was said to be murdered for something he didn't do. He was innocent. So this leads to basically that when they hear about what's going on TV with the urchin, the giant sea monster, that it's all connected. And then so basically it's what you expect from a Ghostbuster series, especially from this new one. I thought it was still pretty good. Considering it's a new team, it's not the original guys, which I really prefer more. But they all work together. Even I forget what her name was. I thought it was Chloe. I can't remember what her name was, but the girl ends up getting like, hey, he's like, do you remember how to use a proton pack? She's like, sure. Do I ever? Because she misses using one. And because I don't think she's part of this is before this is right after Afterlife. I don't think this even has to do with the new movie. But they show at the end, it says we have a bigger problem right now because now they have that pirate here is now basically come to get his revenge against New York and stuff. So, it's actually pretty good for a kid's book, and honestly, art's better than I would like it to be, or not. No, I mean, it's not as good as I'd like it to be, but it's decent. I can understand what's going on. You can still make out the proton packs, traps. It's just the people are kind of wonky, but I'm used to that with the IDW. And that was because they couldn't get the licensing. Here, they can at least somehow get the likenesses of the characters. So I guess Paul Rudd doesn't care, or they made a deal with Sony, and Sony's like, you know what, let's do it. But issue 3. I know you're gonna say something, Breen. 104.5. Yeah, remember X-Men 104? This is a point. It's supposed to be X-Men 140.
Whoopsies.
Here's a funny thing. People I was reading on the reviews of this over on League Comic Geeks. One guy said in the comments is like, yeah, I noticed months ago. I reached out to somebody who actually worked at Marvel to let them know that they messed up. I even reached out to the writer. Didn't get a response back. Yeah. The writer being Claremont. So it makes you wonder, when were these printed? They've been sitting on them for about a month or two. Who knows? But it starts with 140.5, which is the base of the prelude. Then it goes into the next 2 stories, which is 141, and I think it goes actually to 142 as well. Hold on. Yeah, here's 141, which is a print up of the backup story, which I did read these for the first time, which I thought they're really good. And yeah, and then you get 142 is about and I thought it was pretty good for being a prelude. He said the reason I went with these characters at the time because these are characters I like. That's the reason why you have bishops in there, and it's Bishop, Sage, Betsy, aka Psylocke. She's not split apart. She's still as there was back in the day, because that's what we were. And he has Nightcrawler there, and then you're wondering who the Iron Man is there. So basically, in this, they say in the prelude is that all pretty much everyone was killed, including Avengers and all this stuff. what you find out in the original story. So in this sort of the prelude to this, you find out that the Iron Man that comes and saves them, because in this beginning story here, they basically are going after Nightcrawler, Sage, Betty, Psylocke and Bishop are basically trying to capture Hound, aka Rachel Summers, who has gone wayward from her boss. So she's not listening to her boss. She's become uncontrollable, and they figured, well, this is like they're like the new Mirth time trying to get her back on their side, and they end up being saved by Iron Man. But it turns out it's not Tony Stark, as I was led to believe, which I thought it would be, maybe kind of cool, Turns out this is not Tony Stark. This is Tony Stark's daughter. In this universe, Claremont said, fuck it, Pepper and Tony had a child. They had a daughter. So he's going with the movie, I guess, version to mix in there. And I kind of like the shirt she's wearing. She's wearing the Nuclear Winter shirt. That was kind of funny. It's basically what they want to do. They want to get Rachel under control. They want to basically dive into her mind, doing a mindscape thing. So they put Psylocke and Sage go into her mind. And as they go in there, they come. Psylocke does her best to be as a distraction to the nanites, basically attacking her, so that Sage can go figure out what's going on. And she finds out that she's still hanging on for like resisting, but her memories are being erased away. They come across her with a giant Jean Grey as her mother. As they're in there, pretty much they're about to get their asses kicked until the eyes open up on Jean Grey here. Turns out, because we're going with Jean Grey as the Phoenix in this still, we're not doing the X Factor story. Jean had left part of herself inside Rachel as a conscious, because remember she's the Phoenix, and she helps saves her daughter, and tells her to explain, take care of yourself, One thing I don't like about this is that they never say what her name is. I only know her last name's Stark. They don't tell her what her name is. But basically, she's pissed off. She's like, I fucking hate you, Phoenix. You killed my dad. You killed my mom and my dad. She get a little drama from there. But overall, Rachel is now at the end of this, Rachel's now on their side. And pretty much that's all going to go. They're going to. That's all leads over this. And then we go into basically an older version of Kitty Pryde there on the right, talking. Yeah. And then it leads right into basically, the going into the actual X-Men, Days of Future Past. Yeah. Someone's burrito's done.
That was my watch for some reason. I had an alarm go off. My alarm should not be going off until 3:30 in the morning.
All right, cool. Number 2. Teen Titans Go. The batter's up. Probably the most patriotic book I've read this whole entire week. She wants to learn how to basically on the Starfire the American way. She wants to be that's hilarious. So basically, like Cyborgs, we'll take you to a baseball game, And National is like, and while they're there, and I love it how she's like, before they go there, she's basically like, they're gonna do this Star Spangled Banner. She's like, well, we can't do that without the. She's she's like the lyrics, gave fruit through the night, so she's handing everybody fruit because she's kind of oblivious, But basically, their whole thing is they want to go to a baseball game and have her show her how to be a true American. So the first stop is eating hot dogs at a baseball game, and then attending a monster truck rally, and then visiting a state fair. So they get there, like, oh, the hot dogs, of course. What does she do? She's like, oh, I really don't want to eat a dog. That's kind of gross. But she tries to eat a dog because she's oblivious.
It's the dog from Secret Life of Pets.
Yeah, it is too. She's like, here. So basically, the Raven's like, no. How about we try the sandwich version? Yeah. And she's like, and Starfire's like, oh, it is the less adorable, but are you sure this is a sandwich? It looks more like a taco made of bread. And Cyborg's like, maybe it's more a rule since the bread isn't in one piece. It's like, nope, we're not doing that. She just basically like shoves her mouth full of the hot dog. These are just fun books, you know. Then they go to a baseball game, and like, and I love how Robin's like, dude, the Jump City Tigers are getting destroyed by the Gotham Knights. And Starfire, not understand this, she's like gonna go save the Tigers. And of course, Beast Boy, being an idiot, let's go save those Tigers. And they end up getting banned. As Cyborg says, I've never been banned from a stadium, but that's alone being banned from playing the sport ever again. You know, they go to a monster truck place. You know, Raven doesn't like how kind of bored he is, so she basically calls it a monster. So then her and Starfire basically get some monster trucks. Like I said, it's lots of laughs. So then they end up going to a state fair, and they get the funnel cakes, and then Robin's like, here, I'll win you a prize, even though these games are rigged. He's like, oh, I can't win. So then Starfire does the same thing. You know, you throw with a dart, get a pop a balloon, and then you get a prize. She does like all of them, and he's like, yeah, whatever. They go to he's like, here, let's go to Tilt-A-Whirl. And she's like, sure, but she goes by herself because she has the bear. But I am not alone. So then she gets bored, and then she spins up the ride, and everybody hurls, including Robin. And then the Ferris wheel is about to break for some reason. So they go to action, and then they save everybody. And pretty much, like it's like I said, they have a lot of fun with this story, and they work together. And at the end, it's like, and at the end of this, you know, it's like, you know, she's like, and Cyborg's like, what's wrong, Star? We saved all those people. She's like, but I had to do it as a Tamaranian. I will never be the true American. Like, and he's like, are you kidding? You came here, use a blend of the customs you learned and the best culture you brought with you, made this place a better place. That is the most American thing you can do. We're a melting pot, baby. She's like, I milked the pot. He's like, you sure did. And of course, Raven, she's like, does this mean I finally get to sing the national anthem? And like Robin's like, you wanted to sing it? And it ends with basically like the "Oh say can you see" the end. This is written by Amanda Diebert, who wrote the last run of Darkwing Duck before it relaunched. So, drawn by Dario Brizella. Yeah, these are really fun. But the number one book of the week is Sisterhood. And Zach, did you get this?
No, I don't read the Hide True stuff. Wow. You know this.
I'm just shocked because I figured you learn after always showing you all these cool books that you'd actually go and start reading Hyde Street.
It's not my jam. It's not for me. I don't do the horror based.
It's not really horror based. It's more.
I know, but
is it your jelly?
It's not my jelly. Okay. It is not.
So Sisterhood is introducing a new character. Obviously, I got the cover B. So because I wanted to have the X-Ray Man. Just want these two kids. They're friends. They're inseparable. They get in a car crash there because their mom apparently had been drinking a little bit, and a little drip, drinky poo. They crash. They survive. The mom dies. They go to college. One pledges for a sorority.
Which one's mom died? Because they're not sisters. I forgot. Which?
I think
the Sophie or Violet.
It's gotta be Violet's mom. Yeah, because she says, "Mom, are you okay?" And it's the redhead. And then at the end, she shows that her friend, is Violet, is kind of like her too. So at the funeral and stuff, so they end up going to college. Violet's pledging to a sorority as a pledge, and of course this leads to basically hazing, and basically the game is that they have to drink. They grab a bottle down there. They have to come up and drink it and go back down because effectively she doesn't choose a major. They said that the one girl doesn't like her. The main girl, the main bitch, says, "Well, you got to drink all the bottles," And she does it, and she ends up drowning. And then because there's a big thing in the news about it, she decides, "Well, she's the one that brought the alcohol to the party. We had our clean thing."
Yeah, you left out that she got like a.
Well, yeah,
caught on the pool drain.
She got her thing caught, her ribbon, her necktie. got caught, which was tied in a bow, but it got tied in a knot though, and she ends up drowning there. And basically her friend hears this on their port, seeing the news, gets really pissed off, and basically ends up going to the place and throwing a rock through the window. And you get the use of the mom saying like, you stupid bitch, like you. This is the mom of the one who basically caused the drowning and stuff. She's like, "What's your problem?" It's like, you almost cost us everything. You're stupid, bratty ways. The mom doesn't even care about it. So she's like, "I'm gonna cover this up for you." So we get, was it Violet was the other one? This is what is
Sophie.
Sophie ends up walking and she wanders on to Hyde Street, come across basically outside the sisterhood place. And she says, "I don't have any money," and she's like, "That's okay, don't worry about it." It's like, and it's, we get to see, first appearance of this character, more so, and they make a she says like, "I feel your pain, and don't worry about this." It's like, I'll be able to help you, but now she's a bit. I've agreed with it. She's basically, what she says, "It's all right, sweet child. Please come stay. Let's, and it's like, I don't have any money." She's like, "In another life, that's all I cared about. But today, I'm interested in finding, connecting with you, your dear friend. Wouldn't you like that?" She's like, "I would. What do you need from me?" The bracelet. Says the bracelet will be suffice. Thank you for sharing with me. And she says, "Are you absolutely certain you wish to shatter the barrier between life and death?" She's like, and then she does it. She basically put the bracelet on, and when she does that, pretty much she's able to leave Hyde Street, which I thought was interesting, because usually people wander in there, they never leave. So she wakes up in her room, like have a nightmare, and turns out there's water, or at least there was in there in her dream. She was drowning, and then she's saved by her hand. Someone's grabbing her, and if she walks into the mirror, and this is only the first one, she's like, "I'm back." Like Joey Eats, the Joey food blog guy. She's like, "I'm back, and those bitches who killed me are gonna pay." So I'm excited to see where this goes, because it's not going to end well for Sophie. She made a pact, and because of this, people are going to get murdered. Will she end up being reaped, at the end Hyde Street by the sisterhood? I guess what they call it, reaping, right? Taking their souls. But I'm pretty sure. Did they ever explain what they do with the souls? Do the souls go to hell, or do they absorb the energy? Did they ever explain the lost souls? The bad people?
I'm not sure.
Oh. But I do have a few back issues. I'll get them out of the way. And then I also got a book, one of Joe Corallo's books.
Joe Corallo?
Yep.
I saw him on stream last night.
Did you now? It's like he likes going to Doctor Who's fun, but he doesn't want to join this channel. Also came out this week.
Talking about current Doctor Who and how bad it is.
I know, right? So came out this week was Walking Dead. This is issue 116. Original cover was here. This is the Negan War, pretty much. And if you're wondering where this is in the story, for those who remember that, this is basically they make their way in through the sanctuary and start shooting it up. And Negan's on the run. The zombies are basically have now come in because they hear the shooting. I love this, like the art in this book, the color, and it looks a lot cooler. Oh, it's a lot better now. Of course, we got Ezekiel, man. The guy, and it's funny about this, the Ezekiel, the actor, is in the show is the voice actor for Cyborg.
That is true.
Yeah,
he also voice acted several other characters.
But I never knew
Aqualad, I think.
Dude, I never knew that he was Cyborg in the Teen Titans.
Oh yeah.
So
he was Cyborg. I think he was Aqualad in Young Justice. He's been several.
But yeah. A lot of cool stuff happens in this. So if you have not checked out The Walking Dead, this is The Walking Dead Deluxe. It's in color with some backup stories in the background. In there, we got a patriotic one. And then, oh, you look hungry. Yeah. But yeah, overall, fun story. I don't know if they're going to collect these, though, in, like, color version compendiums. I was wondering that, too. It's like, is this the way for people to collect the issues who don't have them? All right. And then I got more for my Miss Marvel collection.
Ooh, that's a nice cover.
Yep, this is issue 22. 24. And then we have 38.
I think I have that one.
Yeah. And 40. So I only need 2 more issues, and then I'll be done with the whole entire run. I'll have the whole entire thing. And then I have one last book here. Because I need to get another book in order to get the 20%. You got to get a number of books. So I ended up getting Falling in Love.
Ooh.
Yep.
Gene Colan cover.
Yep.
I don't have that one.
How many times would you let a man walk out on you? No matter how much you loved him. Read, don't ever leave me. Falling in Love. We promise you'll never forget the ending to this story. You're the only one who'll be mine. I'll marry. Benny? Oh, darling, every time you ever told me that, you left me afterwards. How could I trust you now? Also, she was a great with the advice for other girls' problems of the heart. But when it came to her own romance, she had to suffer an agony of heartbreak before she could achieve a happy ending. And special, how a man feels when he falls in love with a girl who has a two-faced heart. Dun, dun, dun. 12 cents. Yeah. This was only like 20% off of $20, whatever that is. Yeah. So it wasn't that bad. Yeah, so it wasn't that bad. Here's the Joe Corallo book. King Arthur, Knights of Justice, Volume 2.
Nice.
Yeah. So kind of manga-ish art. So
it's reminiscent of Beckstar.
I know, yeah, the art like that, yeah. But I mean, like the cartoon was the cartoon was great when they showed that it's like people people can draw Spider-Man really good, but when it comes to like drawing Peter Parker, they're not that great. That's kind of what the cartoon was. So I'm not too worried about this. But overall, like I said, for being a kid's book, it does well. You know. And this was only $15. So,
you know, when I heard you say his name, yeah, it sounded different than usual. It got me thinking. He should change his name to Joker Rollo. It would be catchy.
All right. And the last thing I got finally came in. Collecting 1 through 28 and Superman's first appearance in the Batman Adventures 25 and Superman Adventures Annual Number 1.
Ooh.
Mark Millar.
Paul Dini.
Yeah, a Rice Burchett.
Nice.
Yep.
What's up?
Here's the great thing about this.
That's cool.
It's on $125.
That's pretty cool.
$60.
60? Wow.
For a soft cover.
That's pretty nice.
And it actually has this is the ones we read, Brain, on the channel. So you'll recognize some of these here. Oh, 4th of July starting already.
What is the name of that book?
Been going by me for about 30 minutes now.
What's the name of that book that Joe wrote?
King Arthur and the Knights of Justice.
Thank you.
It's based off the cartoon series from the 90s, which never got continued. So that's why I told Joe, it's like, if you're going to write this, are you going to continue it, give it an ending? Because the whole goal was like basically Merlin, in order to defeat Morgana and the evil serpent, guy, her knight over. Merlin had to get 12 people from these guys from the future they dress like in these high school kids or a football team, because the real King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table were held prisoner by Morgana. So he summoned guys from the future basically to come and save the Camelot, and also they had to get these like 12 or some number of keys in order to free the knights from their spell that Morgana had them on. They're in short peace. But the show ended before they could get the final couple keys. It got canceled. It used to air on Sunday mornings on UPN in the 90s, late 90s. So, yeah. This is volume 2, Morgana's Revenge, with Mandy Chan doing the art. Yeah. Yeah. And this is 4-1 Entertainment. But it is through Maverick, which is the imprint for Mad Cave, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's all I got.
Somebody wake up Jeff. Jeff, wake up!
He's back. Okay.
Okay. Alrighty. Take your medicine.
Had to do some porcelain art.
Oh, well, I was gonna say take some pain medicine for your leg.
Got that right here.
Yeah, because yeah, I was thinking about that. I was telling my mom about how you got a hairline fracture in the leg, and she said it's like she knew somebody who did that. She worked with. They stepped down wrong on their leg, and that's how they got the fracture in their leg. Because they stepped wrong.
I don't know. It's just
they didn't trip, because you didn't trip over anything. I was thinking that maybe you just stepped down wrong, and then you didn't notice.
It's been known to happen. I can be a little clumsy sometimes, but
I mean, you didn't
drink a lot of milk, so that could be it too. I just got weak bones.
Well, no. It's all the other drugs, the Ozempic and all the other weird stuff.
All right, so I have very small amount, 4 and 2 back issues and 2 trades. So 4 Absolute Green Lantern. Very convoluted. Turns out that I guess she has an ex that's a she. And I guess they're figuring out their like wedding rings or rings that are gold are the things that work against Abentur or whatever. So it turns out that that's probably going to be how they figure out the weakness to yellow and stuff like that. But I'm not good.
Is he a villain? Abentur? Is Abentur a villain?
He's taken over this town and blocked him in, and I guess Hal and a couple other people, they thought they killed him, but they're actually reduced to their basic molecular forms or something like that. I'm not. It's getting overly complicated and stuff. I'm just like, okay.
You mean it's on Absolute Insane? Like the whole model for all those books?
Yeah. So it's just, I'm just like, forget it, man. The only one that I'm actually good. There's only going to be 2 that I'm getting from now on is Flash, which I still think is still really good, and Batman, which I'm sort of on the fence about. But 3. The Case of Shirley Johnson. I thought this was actually The Curse of Shirley Johnson. I just thought this was a kind of a horror book. I did not notice the little Spawn universe thing down at the bottom until after I started reading it. So I guess it's about some character that Spawn killed, and she keeps having to die painfully and come back to life and all that stuff. And turns out she's in hell, and she's escaped, and now she's out to try and get after people or something. I'm not gonna get the next one because I don't know what's going on, and I really don't care about these people. Number 2, the radio station numbering. 104.5, America's top music. So I'd already read the Days of Future Past, so I just read the prequel, and it was all right. Liked the other stuff better, and of course, the best book of the week, Sisterhood. So this pretty much makes it so everyone with taste got this book. And yes, I know what I'm saying there. So yeah, I really enjoyed that book. It was awesome.
I skipped Devoured. Now I want to go back and find it, but it's probably gonna be like, this book is super expensive now.
It is both my jam, my jelly, my bread, my peanut butter, crunchy and non-crunchy. And yeah. Okay, then the back issues, a Pop Kill #1 variant. I don't know why I picked it up. I just sort of felt like it.
Do you not have the first one?
Yes, I do. But,
there was other variants.
Yes, but that was the only one they had there.
Oh.
About 7.5.
Now you should draw on it and then autograph it and then put it up for sale. We'll auction it off here.
Hell, it can't be any worse than some of the things I've seen drawn on those things before. And then this is awesome. Batman number 117. They said it was fair, and
that's 170 something.
177.
My shop has the one where Batman says, "I just killed Batman."
Did I say it's 117?
Yeah,
that was 177.
Well, numbers are arbitrary. Just ask the X-Men.
Yes, and numbers are hard too. But if you look at it, I don't see how it can be fair. I mean, there's some like wrinkles and stuff like that, and if you look at the spine, it's kind of so I don't know. See how fair it would be, but it's only $8, so I can't really compare.
That's more than fair for that number of Batman.
You know what I do? I just keep it for the cover. It's really because most of those are probably collected in trays now.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to pop it open and read it just because it doesn't look like it's in fantastic shape. But I have the first 4 Golden Age Batman Omnibuy, so this will probably in there, and if not, it'll be in the next one.
No, it would be the first 4 wouldn't even come close to getting to that one.
Okay,
because the Batman Omnibus is cover detective also, and I think even the world's finest Batman stories. So but they are starting to. I think they are starting to do silver. They did a Silver Age Omnibus. And if they do a follow-up to that, it might be in that.
I've got 1 through 4 of the Golden Age, and I've got 1 of the #1 of the Silver Age.
So
there's 10 Golden Age ones, but a lot of them are out of print and just super expensive. So I'm like, no.
We just got another celebrity that died, Kenneth Coley.
Who?
Kenneth Coley.
Don't know him.
Colly. He's from Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. He died. He was 87 years old. He was one of the admirals in there on the ship.
Oh, okay. One of the ones that didn't survive.
Oh no, he's the one that Darth Vader choked, and he's like, "Apology accepted, Captain Nita."
Oh, Captain Nita. It was probably Captain Nita.
Yeah,
Admiral Nita. I mean,
Admiral Nita. Yeah,
this is Admiral Piet.
No.
No.
Piet is the one that made it all the way through Jedi, and then his thing.
Piet goes to the Jedi, and then he goes down on that giant Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
So it's the second celebrity to die today.
Of course, the one of the greatest bad guys ever died. Yes, died today. So, kind of dances a jig while torturing a cop. And
Took the
then
dude's ear off. That's all I know.
you know, it was really kind of fun. A little trivia thing here. That was actually Michael Madsen's car. That was his real car.
Yeah.
And what they did is just to, as an experiment, they put that actor in the trunk of his car just to see if he'd fit and all that. And then Michael Madsen, just being an asshole, jumped in the car and started driving and actually did go through a drive-through at a restaurant with that guy in the trunk of his car. That actually happened. Just because,
See, I wanted Michael Madsen and Mads Mikkelsen to be in a movie together. His brothers.
Oh, that would have been cool. But both playing bad guys. But and then my last two, Fight Club Volume 2, which I've already read through. I have the floppies, but I got this. And I love the paper, the smell of the paper they use for these things. It's just really awesome. And then I didn't realize this at the time that I bought it, but it was also a book too. Richard Tracy.
Nice. Yes.
Which is the one with the, what is it, Echo or whatever his name is? So.
The best ticket in 2025.
Huh? So issues 6 through 10.
You know what's great about that? That's better dick than what DC's giving you.
Was that?
That's better dick than what DC is giving us.
Yes. DC isn't giving us dick. This is actually some good dick, though. And do not clip that.
DC is giving you dick. It's just not good dick. It's Tom's dick, and I don't want Tom's dick.
Hey, Tom was your friend on MySpace. Was that Tom?
I've never had that Tom's dick.
That was Tom.
Do, but I would not say partaked. I'm talking about Nightwing.
No, Nightwing is more of a butt guy. So,
but
still they say
there was a Nightwing trade that came out this week. It was by what's his name? Dark Patterns. Dan Waters.
Yeah, they actually Casually Comics? Is that her name? She actually did a whole thing, a video on the Dick Grayson butt.
Nice.
Not that I watched it or anything like that.
All right.
I saw the top of it. That's it.
All righty then. I guess we'll go to Zach.
Oh, it's me.
Well, I mean, I know Breen's gonna say no. Make the kid go first.
Breen likes to bring up the.
And hello to anybody who's still watching.
Breen's the last. Breen's always last, man.
The three viewers. Oh, because I'm number 4.
I was wondering, is it my hat or is it because it's 4th of July's next round?
I think it might be your hat.
One is one of them. So
I don't think 4th of July. It's not 4th of July. It's only the 3rd. So
tell that to the numbnutses that are out blowing right shit up right now.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Okay. When are we going to hear our first report on fingers being blown off? Today or tomorrow?
Probably late tonight.
Well, I'm just going to tell you right now, we're going to have our parade tomorrow. We're not going to close the waters just because you thought you saw a giant shark.
Hey, he wasn't really that giant. It was just regular sized. But you notice what all the great ones are, right?
I forgot about that. It takes place with the 4th of July with the celebration going on. That and 50 years ago, that movie 4th of July was on a Friday.
Oh, that's wild. We're actually closer to the year 2050 now.
Yeah, I saw that.
The year 2000.
Nice.
I don't like that at all. All right, I have 6 new books this week. I sprung for an extra one. I have all my top 5 and an extra one. The extra one is the bottom of the pile this week. I decided to give a try to Gotham City Sirens, Unfit for Orbit. This is Leah Williams, and she did good with the Exterminators.
Wait.
I'll go to your trial run.
You get Sisterhood, but you got that.
Yes. Did you read Exterminators by Leah Williams?
No, but
I read that.
Book was all kinds of rambunctious fun.
Zach, I agree with you. I love that series, but I read her first volume, which was Gotham City Sirens, before this.
Oh, she wrote. I didn't know she wrote Gotham City Sirens.
Yeah, and it had nothing. It was basically like getting Carol Danvers.
Well, so this opens up with Catwoman fighting Harley Quinn wearing nothing but a towel, and the towel falls off halfway through. So it starts off very
Which
similarly.
one was wearing the towel?
Harley
That
Quinn.
one.
Oh, okay.
Or Harley Quinn.
So it starts off seeming to be very fun. The art is okay. The art's not great. It's not like whoever was doing the art for Exterminators. And so Catwoman, and actually it seems to keep in canon with what's going on in current Catwoman, because she doesn't dress up like Catwoman. She dresses like, a Beagle Boy, basically. And so she says it's because she's on the lam. She's working under. She's you're reading the current Catwoman, so kind of.
I'm reading. I'm not Catwoman. I'm reading.
Yeah.
I'm not even Selena Kyle. I'm posing as somebody else.
Yeah, somebody else. So Selena Kyle wants to steal this kind of processor that's in this club. I thought this was the Gotham City Sirens go to space for some reason. It's actually just a club in Gotham City. It's like a sci-fi themed club.
Gotham City.
And so, and Harley's running some kind of like destruction services. She does like demolition. So she also has her pet hyenas in this. They make an appearance. So Selena approaches Harley. She's like, I need you to be a distraction so I can steal this processor thingamabob. And Harley's like, that's fine, but we're going to need a third person. Let me call Ivy. And Ivy is hooking up with another girl. And so that's they're doing all the poly-thruppling whatever between Harley and Ivy. And so they hatch a scheme to sneak in, steal this processor, and they dress up in some kind of like glammy looking sci-fi outfits. And once they get inside, they find out that the processing component is actually a child. It's like a living baby child. And the villain who's running the club, who holds the child captive, is Despero. So part of me wants to keep reading because it's Despero, but I don't think I'm going to be coming back because the art's not good enough. The story's not good enough. It seems very kind of, I don't know. Not quite worth it.
At this point, I don't care about. Back in the day, Harley Quinn in a towel would have got me in. Not so much today.
Okay,
it's not Harley Quinn, and that's not really not Selena Kyle, and either Poison Ivy. It just feels like like I said, the first series, they're limiting them to basically. She's limited. She can't write what you wanted to write, like she did with Exterminators. She has no creative liberties.
Zach, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Yeah, you have questionable taste in comics.
Sure. We'll find out more later.
Yeah.
Wait. Is it questionable taste in comics his new name?
Oh, that could be.
Who?
I like that.
Who is this for? Because you have three characters that are supposed to be sexy.
Yep.
And they assign a shit artist to it.
Yep.
You can tell me all day long that Exterminators was decent. I'll take your word for it. I'm not gonna. Yeah.
It was more like if you like teen comedies from the early 2000s.
Show me the interior.
Was like that.
Zach.
This was not like that. This was very Tumblr-y. There are scenes where Poison Ivy is talking.
It's not Todd Knock.
It's not Todd Knock art. No, of course not. It is
because that's Todd Knock on the cover, isn't it?
No, this is the Dodsons.
The Dodson.
The two of them are nothing alike.
They both drew pinup girls.
Todd Knock doesn't do pinup girls.
Todd Knock does. Does.
He does like characters look
young. Yeah, he's like a kid's artist.
Yeah. So there's Harley fighting.
So basically, it looks more like manga art.
It's that's an insult to manga.
No. Hold on. It's westernized manga art. Look at Selena Kyle. Her face.
It's worse than that. It's really Tumblr-y.
Do you remember? If you remember looking at the Barbie girls, the Barbie comic books, that's what it looks like.
So this is really made for Green. It's made for the crowd. We talk about all the time the people they market to that don't buy comics anyway.
Yeah, it's marketed to lesbians who pirate comics.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Here's the thing, though. A lot of them won't even read that because they want the straight comics.
Yeah. Because
they want the girl who is not pandering to them. They want the girl who's drawn
like Aang from The Last Airbender.
Dude, there's a here's the thing about this. there's a lot of lesbians. They're not just attracted to lesbians. They're attracted to straight girls because straight girls aren't messed up like them.
No, but that's not who DC's marketing to.
I know.
Well, that was way too
That's
much
what he was
time spent
asking.
on
He was
that.
asking who they're marketing it to. So
their marketing to is not to us.
All right,
I put the
next
sample
question,
on
Floyd.
issue 1. I probably won't be going back for issues to 2 or anything. So of the 5 that I talked about on Tuesday, we got Ultimate Wolverine number 7 coming in at number 5.
They just won't let the man
Wolverine
go.
himself does not go into limbo. They do introduce limbo, and magic does reign in limbo, and they drag their underlings, Omega Red and Colossus and Magic. They do drag the underlings that are dissatisfactory. They do take them to limbo and let the demons eat them. So that part was kind
Is
of
it
cool.
like Meanwhile Limbo, and then it cuts to where Wolverine is?
Kinda. It's 2 different story beats. So there's the scientist who oversaw Logan's winter soldiering, and she can't find him, and so they see it as she failed, so they drag her to limbo and
Yay!
let the eat her.
What's with limbo?
And then with Wolverine, back with him, since he's back now with the opposition, which are these other mutant characters like Gambit and Kitty Pryde and them, because they're like the resistance to the to Magic and Omega Red and all them.
This is Condon, right?
No, this isn't. Yes, this is Condon. This is Condon and Alessandro Capuccio.
Does it feel different? Does this feel different than his Oliver Queen story?
Oh yeah, this is very different. This is very much all the X-Men characters. They're almost like a resistance force against the people that the Maker has put in charge of that part of the world, which is like the Eurasian.
Because I felt like the whole Oliver Queen one, he was trying to go political with that one, and it's just like I didn't care for that.
Well, that's Ollie. Ollie's
more than just politics, and that's what people forget.
How did we get on talking about Green Arrow?
Because it's Chris Condon.
Okay, but I'm talking about Wolverine.
So I was asking you because I want to know. I want to know, does it? Because you were reading both books.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, does this feel like it's written by a different writer?
No, you got Sabretooth here, even though he saved Wolverine a few issues ago, he's back to picking on him and calling him runt.
Is he got a man bun?
No, he's got a beard.
No, I thought he had a man bun behind his hair. Because he's a Viking.
He might. It's very Viking looking. So yeah,
it's a Hiccup's father.
You've got Beast and Beast, Abigail Brand, Red Guardian is in here as well with Black Widow. This is like Kitty Pryde actually goes by the code name Sprite in this universe. So they're bringing the Sprite name back. That's kind of cool. So yeah, they're setting up for the next issue. They're gonna go after the big guys, Omega Red, Colossus, and them.
I like Shadowcat. Shadowcat was really cool, especially in Evolution.
Shadowcat is my favorite one, but I thought it was pretty neat to see them use the name Sprite again. Next, we've got G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, number 318.
Well, quick question. Didn't Wolverine give her the nickname Sprite?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy.
Breen?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy.
I thought that's why the significance of that name was because she was given by Wolverine because Wolverine gave her
text Doc.
You know what? How am I supposed to do it? I don't have his number.
So we get Storm Shadow and Dawn.
He's on Twitter.
Fighting zombie mutant Cobra agents. Really cool way to open up a book. You've got the AI robots who are running Cobra Island. They're
Island.
They're testing out these mutants to use as sleeper agents.
Are there Cobras on that island?
There are no Cobras. There are Cobra soldiers. So, also their AI leader looks like a giant caterpillar. It's kind of freaky, but it's cool though. You've got Cobra Commander, who's been locked up in Scotland. Meanwhile, Destro's had him locked up for several issues now. But now he's finally plotting his escape. So he takes off his eyeglasses. One frame of his eyeglasses has thermite. The other has another kind of aluminum powder. And he's got like a fuse and matches and his shoes and everything. It's very, very Get Smart, very spy-like. And so he breaks out of prison. So that was pretty cool. And then you got the Joes who are undercover in Springfield. They're posing as a Cobra family. The girl gets found out from this little like Cobra Boy Scout who like has a crush on her, I guess, and she goes, "You're not her. You're not Nina." So, some cool stuff here going on in GI Joe, in the regular, I guess, the original universe. So definitely worth checking out. Paul Pelletier back on art. Very cool issue. I love this cover too. It's a great issue.
Hey, Breen.
What's up, Henry?
What?
Since Kitty Pryde is Jewish, do people just hate her now?
I don't know.
No,
she's a lesbian now, so that makes up.
Does that cover up?
There's a
Because
trade-off.
she's still Israel. That's evil.
There's a trade-off.
I was wondering about that. Because the new Blake writer is being like, "Oh yeah, I'm no longer Jewish." Free Palestine.
Next up, we have Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. Even though there is no Godzilla to be found, it is more like Justice League versus Suicide Squad versus Kong.
Why does Godzilla have a six-pack?
It's not Godzilla.
Croc.
It's King Croc.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It's Croc.
King Croc.
Vinkman was saying this is not a serious book. You go into this. This is a summer blockbuster book. This is just fun and fights and just all kinds of goodness. So
This is the better version of the movie we got.
this is great. I mean, Killer Croc bites it. Spoilers, but also
you mean Killer Croc becomes Killer Croaked?
Killer Croaked. But you get some cool stuff in here. Peacemaker with the supersonic speed bullets, I thought was pretty cool. I'm looking forward to seeing if Wonder Woman does actually get to fight and take out Captain Cold and Black Manta.
She did bring her, because he's like, "Did you bring my stuff?" She's like, "Here it is, your shield and your sword."
I'm still waiting to see, because the covers have been teasing King Ghidorah, and that's who I really want more than Scar and the other super apes. I want King Ghidorah.
Excuse me, no kings.
No. Oh yeah, it is true. No King's Day tomorrow. So for one day, I'll give you that. But Ghidorah is one of my favorite of the monsters. So
That's right. No LeBron James mentions.
No LeBron James. No Martin Luther's. What other king? No Elvis. None of them. No Michael Jackson. So anyway, continuing the does Zach have questionable taste train, at least for 2 more times.
It's not
tonight.
anything we question at this point.
All right,
I picked up Captain America #1 from Chip Zdarsky and Valerio Skiddibity Bop.
and
I liked it. I thought it was a decent first issue. I didn't think it was anything super. There are some really good moments in here. So this story, the first arc is taking place the week Captain America gets defrosted. And then it's going to jump into the present day. Like it'll be present tense after that. So in this, though, you open up.
I was gonna say, tell me the cons of this, and then tell me
the cons of this. So right off the bat, and this wasn't so much a big deal for me. I was kind of telling Brain before we started. Some people don't like that because of the sliding time scale. This takes place post 9/11, and I missed the first page. Because the very first page does have that. It shows 9/11 and one of the towers. I missed the first page, so I thought it didn't even talk about 9/11, but it's right on the first page. But, some people weren't happy about that, Cap being defrosted and everything, and not being part of the cleanup efforts or anything after 9/11.
Isn't that the MCU version, though?
That would be the MCU version. You're right. And,
yeah.
I mean, because they did the same thing with Iron Man, but I guess because 9/11's closer and a lot of people lived through it and experienced it, witnessed it, I guess it just hits a little bit differently maybe. But that, that aside, not too many other things that I could call cons in this. The art is fantastic. I love the art. This might be some of the best I think I've seen him do. There is, let me see here. Most of it's pretty good. I think the one thing I would say maybe is a con is they have this other boy. So there's 2 story threads here. There's Steve Rogers' story, which is the majority of this book. And then every now and then it'll bounce to this other kid. He was like a kid when 9/11 happened. And then when he's old enough, he goes and joins the army. And he's kind of a weaker boy. He's kind of like Steve Rogers before the super soldier serum. And I think he ends up getting his own version of the super soldier serum. They haven't talked that much. I think it'll be mainly in the next issue. They go into his character. He's a newer character too. I've never seen.
What if they did a story because he comes out of the IS after 9/11, whatever, all that stuff, but
yeah,
he's younger than the rest of the Avengers because they've already been Avengers.
So I guess the Avengers didn't find him in this version.
No, they did. They did. Actually, so I'll get to that. So it opens up with Steve. He hears a police dispatcher talking about a guy with a bomb who's like going to the UN, and so Cap hops on the police motorcycle.
Got a bomb? Oh wait, we're in the modern time. That would have been Clinton's back then.
He hops on a motorcycle and he pursues the guy. Some really great action scenes here in the art and the color.
That's the one thing I really liked. That even in the was it first soldier? What it was called? What was the first movie called?
First Avenger.
First Avenger.
Yeah, where I love the Captain America on his motorcycle. That's what I want.
So Cap ultimately, he gets him off the motorcycle and he talks him down. I thought this was probably the most Captain America-ish part of the book, where he finds out this guy was a military veteran. He talks him down, tries to keep him from offing himself. And then Iron Man shows up at the end, and he's wearing the Mark II suit. I don't know if it'll show that big on the
with the
eye corners, the corners on the eyes. Like you can kind of see a little bit better.
So this looks like like I said, this is a modern version.
This does look more like the suit he was wearing in like Avengers 4.
All you're missing is Bendis writing this, and it'd basically be like an Ultimate Spider-Man kind of like thing.
So it's funny because Steve's looking at the UN flags, and he's like, "Oh, is this supposed to like prevent world wars?" And Tony's like, "Yeah, but it's not perfect." And they have an exchange. Tony tries to get him to join the Avengers, and Steve's response is that he lost his family, he lost Bucky, he's going back to what he knows, which is the military. So he goes back, and they don't have any DNA on record to confirm that he's Steve Rogers, so they just kind of like give him, I guess, a military test.
Who's the kid on the left, the glasses and
that's the new kid. That's who I was talking about. This is the other kid that it bounces back and forth between.
I thought it was Wally West at first.
It kind of does look like Wally, to be honest.
Absolute Wally. He ran too far.
So Steve gets approached by General Thunderbolt Ross.
Nice.
And Ross is like, "Listen, we've got a thing that you might be perfect to qualified to help us with." And he tells him that Dr. Doom in Latveria, he's got some U.S. Embassy workers that are being held hostage in Latveria, and so he wants to send Steve to get them out. So Steve goes. This is one of my favorite panels in the book. The Fantastic Four fighting one of Mole Man's giant monsters, and Steve just shows up. He's like, "I think this guy's the source of your trouble," and Mole Man's just like whispering, "Humanity is the source of Mole Man's trouble." This is a really cool panel. So Steve goes and he has like talks to Reed Richards. He's like, "Hey, who is this Dr. Doom guy? What's he all about?" We do get a cool little use of powers here. Somebody recognizes Mr. Fantastic in the restaurant, and so he just like alters his face, makes him look not like Mr. Fantastic. I think that's really fun when he uses his powers like that. So
nice.
Yeah, overall this was pretty good. I enjoyed this. I'll go back and pick up the second issue. The suit that he gets, like his stealth suit, is a little weird. It looks like that little what's it called? The little asterisk on the keyboard instead of a star. It's stealthy. He's got a few other army military guys that he's going in with, 2 other people who are part of the new Howling Commandos. They're called Team X.
Hey, what's up, Trusty?
So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I believe this is that same redheaded kid, Wally West lookalike. After they give him something, I guess that's supposed to be like the super soldier serum, and this is him supposedly when they topple Saddam Hussein's dictatorship, and that's how issue 1 ends. So issue 2 will be Cap versus Doom, or at least a Doom bot. But overall, I thought this was a pretty good first issue. I liked a lot of it. The art was great. There was definitely more pros than cons, I thought. Other people may have, their mileage may vary, but I enjoyed this. I'll go back for number 2. And my number 1 book of the week is really low on Vinkman's list, but it was JSA number 9. I really enjoyed a lot of this. I was telling somebody online, it is taking a really long time to get to the climax and the conclusion of the story, but I also love the cover. That cover's really cool. I really like the Dr. Midnight. By the way, guys, Shark Week is coming. This is like the inside of all the DC books. I really like the Dr. Midnight versus Scandal Savage fights. I thought those were really cool. How she waits until it's night and it's dark. I thought that was really neat. I love Geeky and them finding Johnny Thunder in the mind maze. I thought that was fun. Let me see, Black Hawk Island, which I think is where the next issue.
To be fair, I think the reason why I don't like this JSA much because I've been reading the Goyer going into Johns, and I've just been loving that, and this has just been kind of lackluster for me compared to that.
Lemire is a very different writer than Goyer and Johns, so you've got to take that and take it. It's like you have two hamburgers from two different places,
and one's better. And
that's actually Thing makes a good point. To read those on top of each other,
yeah,
we've had the luxury of time.
Yeah,
that would be like getting, you've been eating like Five Guys or Rallies. That's my personal favorite.
Yeah,
and then getting McDonald's.
Yeah, I get that. I can understand.
And then on top of that, it's like, if how long has this patty been on this bun? And where's the pickles?
and if I had my druthers, I would prefer Five Guys. Wait, I should rephrase that.
Five Guys is so much better.
Five Guys is so much better in your mouth, right, Zach?
But I've been liking it though. JSA, I think it's been fun. It's if I could only get 3 DC books, it would be up there in the top 3 for sure. So I've been enjoying that.
I do.
You saved the spot for the new Red Hood?
Oh no, it would be JSA, Superman, and Green Lantern.
But
if I had to only get 3, it would be those 3.
Like I said, I do love Beth Chapel, Yolanda. I love kind of the new team. I just wish they were doing more.
Give him time. Maybe he's like Hickman. He just needs a little bit to get going. I mean,
cue the Chamber Brothers.
All right. Got 2 back issues. Something I'm kind of wanting to build up a little bit more since I found some of these at a blowout sale last.
Dude, every time I see you in this popped up collar here with the beard stuff, like you just got back from the range. Got out of the office, went to the range, started.
Sure, right, yeah. We got Challengers of the Unknown. This is from the new 52 run, so we got issue number 7 here. This is your boy, by the way, on art, Mr. Ordway.
Yeah, it's Ordway. Yep.
Dan DiDio, but
yeah. By the way, how's the slice coming, Zach?
But what's that?
How's the slice coming? You getting rid of it?
What slice?
Yeah, in your golf swing.
Golf. He wasn't talking about pizza. He was talking.
Because I said
I play mini golf.
You wonder why people think you look like a dad? Because you dress like a dad.
But when I tuck the shirt in, it's uncanny. I just need some knee-high socks.
All waiting for is the little pocket here, and you have your pencil.
What person under 64? I had to remember it. Tucks in their shirt.
Well, you've seen those commercials.
They have to.
You've seen those commercials.
I need to look professional. I mean,
I said if they don't have to.
Oh.
Well, I'll just say this: you've seen those commercials for the Geico. Don't become your parents.
Oh, it's too late for me.
That's progressive.
It's too late. I also picked up issue number 8, Challengers of the Unknown. Same team, DiDio and Ordway. Death awaits at the sun gate of.
That's Robert Davi.
Who?
the guy on the bottom right.
This guy?
The facial features kind of looks a little bit. But then I get, oh wait, I'm wrong. It's Pedro Pascal.
No, it's somebody else. I can't place his name. or I can't place it. Oh, who is that? That face does remind me of somebody though. I can't remember. I can't think.
Put a mustache on it. It's Pedro Pascal.
All right. 2 trades. One Venkman will approve of. The other will probably get me kicked. All right.
Hold on. What do you mean? So you're saying that you're going to get kicked?
Maybe.
How would you get kicked? That
I
is
don't
such
know. We'll see. I could be wrong.
Could be.
We'll find out.
Let's see what it is.
All right. So first of all, I got the trade. Dan Waters jumping on Nightwing. Dexter Soy on art. This collects Nightwing 119 through 124. I have not read this yet. I have flipped through it though. The art does look really good. Almost got some 90s vibes on a few of these pages.
This is before Tom Tiller took over.
Yeah,
right?
This is after.
That art is ass.
This?
I get it.
Wait, let me see.
Oh, the cover.
Oh, he's making a joke. I thought he was actually in the
He was
interior.
making a joke. Yeah.
It's pretty flat.
But that ass isn't.
I don't know. Go show it again. That looks kind of flat.
Oh my goodness gracious! I do like him beating up the furries, though.
I was gonna say,
great.
I wouldn't complain about today's art. Can't be any worse than what was that, Scott McDaniels?
I like Scott McDaniels.
Oh dear Lord!
There's the hot take for you right there. Is that like Scott McDaniels art?
Get out the long knives.
There you go. So yeah, so this is pretty good. I mean, I haven't had a chance to read through it yet. I've been reading through a lot today. I've had a lot going on, so I haven't had a chance to. I'll probably read this tomorrow. All right. This is the one. It's funny. It's bigger, but I swear it feels lighter than Nightwing. It's a thicker book, though. It was right there next to Nightwing, too, and I figured they're best friends in the comics. So I figured, you know what? Enough time has passed. Let me rip off the Band-Aid and see how this goes. And I got The Flash, Stranger Tractor by Simon Spurrier with Mike Deodato Jr. And the writing's not terrible. It's really not that bad. The most jarring part is that Mike Deodato's art doesn't always match the vibe of, like, especially with the kids and stuff. But overall, it's not. It gets a very technical and very cosmic, timey-wimey, like Doctor Who-ish reading. But there is some like genuinely good, fun stuff in here. There's an issue with, especially when it gets to Jay and Irie and Maxine, Animal Girl. There's some fun stuff there with that. Flash fighting Gorilla Grodd in here. I told you.
Zach,
you
want me to run some cover for you?
Some what? Some cover?
Yeah, back you up on this. Guess who else likes the Spurrier Flash?
Don't say it's not Wes.
No, but it was the guy he interviewed this week.
Oh, Mr. Millar?
Yep.
Oh.
Well,
Mark Millar,
you know what, though?
He's got some good taste.
He has said nice things about Spurrier before.
I saw this and I was like, you know what? It's not floppies, and it collects a sizable amount, so I'm getting a good all-around taste of it, for lack of a better word.
My other question is that a Coca-Cola scented flavored candle?
A what?
That behind you, is that a candle?
Oh no! This is it's a canister.
Dude, I thought you had a Coca-Cola flavored candle. I was like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Brother, I wish. No, this is this will either have a spare change or coffee grounds on it.
He has the same taste in candles that he does in comics.
My comic taste is amazing, as you can see by the wall behind me.
I would rather have Coke.
But yeah, overall, overall, it's not bad. Look, I read almost all of the issues in here so far, and so far, you know, nothing about Wally and Linda haven't been broken up. It is a very sharp turn when he gets to Wally and Linda.
It feels like Zack Snyder took over this Wally.
It is Wally is still written like lighthearted-ish, and he still cracks jokes and stuff. It still reads a lot like Wally from Adams.
Let me ask you a question.
The biggest turn is with Linda.
Oh, is Linda? Are they're not?
So Linda has
no. They're still together. She's just. It's very different. So, like, of course, when Adams was writing, Linda was pregnant with Wade and had speed powers, and then she gives birth to Wade and she loses the speed powers. And so, but
there's a reason for why she is the way she is, but she's very mopey, very confrontal.
It's very postpartum. It gives very postpartum depression vibes, which is a normal thing. Yeah. It's just a big, big swing.
But then you find out what the real reason is why she's doing that.
Yeah, it's a big swing. But other than that, like I said, the kids are all written pretty well. Wallace isn't in this as much. It's more Bart and Max Mercury. There's some Jesse Quick in there. And like I said, some of the concepts, some of the stuff with the Speed Force, it gets very technical, and I scratch my head reading some of it because it feels like it feels like you need to be Mr. Terrific levels of smart. But overall, I don't really have any. I won't be pulling Flash anytime soon. But overall, this first couple of issues doesn't seem to be that bad.
Well, you shouldn't be pulling Flash. Only Wanda should be doing that.
Does the fact that Jeremy Adams is now writing another book that's been out for a while that you really, really like make it easier to take that it's not him on the Flash?
I think distance. Yeah, I think just getting away from that whole scenario where we found out he was coming off the Flash.
Yeah.
And being away from that and letting that kind of like, time heals all wounds. Getting away from that does make it easier to digest. Also, the fact that it seems like Spurrier has been mostly, it seems he's been respectful of all the stuff that Adams has done. He hasn't like undone any of it.
Here's the thing, though. I've never heard Adams say anything bad about Spurrier either, too.
Yeah. Well, Adams doesn't say anything bad about anybody, and he hangs out and chats with writers that.
Well, he's best buds with Tim Sheridan.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean,
You mean I agree with him on things, but I think he's respectful.
Yeah,
and that's the thing.
Absolutely. So, but yeah, that is my hot take, though. My hottest take of this week. It's not terrible. It's not the best, but it's also not terrible. So I think just the shock of losing Adams is probably what soured a lot of people off of it, and rightfully so, I would say, to an extent. But having some time between then and now and going through this, it's not bad.
So there's one thing you guys did not mention, and I forgot to mention too, on that the Jeff Lemire JSA book.
Yes,
they mentioned a specific town in there, a town from we were reading our Jeff John.
Oh, goodness.
So Saint was mentioned in there. I'm sorry, every time I see that name in there, that's all I think of. Saint because that's what we read.
That is not how they pronounce it, but
what is it pronounced?
That's how it should be pronounced.
Yeah, okay.
What is it? Saint Roche? What is it? Roche?
Saint Roche, I believe.
I like the way we do it better.
French.
Yeah. All right. Since Brain's got his camera on, he must be eager to show off.
He must be eager, right?
Well, I figured it was time, and then we got sidetracked. Okay. Light week, but I do have some back issues. First thing, Fantastic 450 facsimile.
Oh.
Most of you seen this from posts I did this morning.
You were showing that off.
Yeah.
That is nice.
Zach, do you recognize the people in the cover where my finger is?
Jim Gordon is the one in yellow.
Yeah.
For sure. I can't recognize the other. Is the
Bruce
other guy
Wayne.
Clark Kent?
That's Bruce Wayne and Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I said I
That's cool.
I told a buddy of mine that comic book buddy in IRL. I've probably read this 10 times, and I never noticed that until this morning. All right, so I only picked up 3 books.
Didn't we read that? You might. I remember you mentioned that in our reading.
No, I just it didn't dawn on me.
I thought maybe we
Number 3, Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. This is all I want out of this book is a knockdown drag out brawl. So I'm happy with this. Yeah, it's what. Yeah. Am I gonna get back for seconds on it? Yeah, why not?
And they're really tapping into the movie that came out. Was it Godzilla versus Kong?
I wouldn't. I've not.
No, you have to
stay. They're fun. If you want a knockdown drag out movie, those are fun.
Yeah, when they go underground with those guys, Scar, that's the one that Kong fought against for Dominion.
The JSA is, we talked about, this is getting better by the issue. And I agree with you, Zach, I like this cover. Speaking of covers,
yes.
You see the stuff Marvel's doing this month with the retro-looking covers?
Yes, I did. I almost picked up an Avengers issue because of it.
I almost bought Spider-Man. Then I remembered it was Marvel. Right. And I've got hundreds of covers that look like that where the stories are actually good. So
the Avengers one actually had the little heads in the box, the corner box heads.
So
they almost got me.
I'm still shocked that nobody picked up Thor versus Godzilla.
That one almost had me.
I didn't recognize the writers, and that's why I didn't pick it up.
It's Jason Aaron.
Oh, that's right. I don't recognize it. I don't read his stuff.
Number 1, Sisterhood. This read like a good, I was, something like I Know What You Did Last Summer or The Craft, or like what is like better made movies like that involve teens and murder and people protecting. But I said the mom is really disgusting, and it's the mom of the girl, the head of the sorority.
Yeah.
Because I said she's more concerned about the sorority's legacy than the fact that somebody died, or that her daughter doesn't seem to be
caring about it,
upset about it, and it was more depressing when I saw that she was from the class of 2000. And that was 20 years after I graduated.
I saw that. I was like, dang, she's a little bit older than I am.
Yeah, I said, when this lady showed up on Devour, I thought, here's all these industry pros, been around forever, and here's some DEI hire with no comic credits that they let in. Then found out she was a writer on Stargirl.
Yep.
And I go, okay, that's because I like Devour. I thought this was much better.
Oh, okay.
So if she's improved that much in just one, like on her second writing assignment, she'll be fine.
Good for her.
What a shame though we couldn't get like another season of Stargirl with Joshua. Sorry, actually, what's his name?
Jeff Johns.
Jeff Johns writing it, but he's writing the TV show version. The comic book. If they wouldn't have forced him out of DC, that would have been great.
Here's the thing: all the DC shows start sucking after season 3 or 4. So I think it's okay.
But they all had the same, creative, behind the scenes.
Sure.
Yeah. Stargirl, I don't think did. So I think it might have.
Bree, did you read the Smallville books?
Read them?
Yeah, Smallville. There was it continued in comic book form.
No, I remember that. Yeah. They did that with Buffy.
Yeah.
And 10 issues in, they had Buffy in bed with a chick. Yeah,
never.
All right.
That early?
So,
wow.
Back issues.
Well, then again, we had Willow as an open lesbian on the show, so I'm not surprised.
Well, that's fine. But Buffy was not. It showed no inclination of being interested in girls.
Was it at least Faith?
No.
Oh, dang.
It was another one of the Slayers. So Captain America or Captain Marvel 15.
Oh, they're slain.
Doctor Strange,
nice.
42. Amazing Spider-Man 128, which we did just read recently.
It's a fun book. The second Vulture.
Yeah. Spectacular Spider-Man 30.
Cool Carrion. Oh, he's a great guy.
43. 45.
That's cool.
47. 48. 50, where we find out that the aliens Spider-Man fought all the way back in issue 2 of Amazing were not.
Zach's character.
my claim to fame.
And 51.
And the Tinker. All I remember that episode is a Tinker asking what size your pants are.
Adventure Comics 307.
Oh, look at he has a question mark on his.
It's Mystery Lad.
Does he sell
Adventure 347. This was the second shooter story.
Oh,
okay.
There was more than one shooter.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, yeah, he wrote. I don't have the first one.
No. I meant shooter.
He was
books.
behind the glass.
Yeah, I was watching one of Grotto's videos. He has 2 copies of 346.
Of course.
And here is Ghosts 36.
There you go.
Ooh. I'd watch that movie.
Ghosts 37. 38.
Oh, that's cool. I like that cover a lot. Wow. That's cool.
Here's Adams, O'Neill, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, number 79.
There's some cultural appropriation for you, buddy.
I saw a couple of those in my shop. They had on the team.
There are some of them from that set that cost hundreds, and then I got that for $10.
The one I saw was going for like $20.
That should be $100 because you could never buy that today. You can.
Well, the ones that are the first one 76, and then the 2 drug issues in the first appearance of John Stewart.
Okay.
Here's Archie 170.
Is that no? As far as that's Neil Adams, right? And
that's Dr.
Neil,
Who.
right?
Yeah.
Is that worth collecting it and reading?
Get the trades. It's
Okay.
Like I said, because there are four issues that are 3 figures in any kind of condition.
Because I was always kind of understanding that series was very heavily political.
It was, and it didn't age well, and it's overrated. But it's well worth reading.
Okay, because that team up that Jeremy Adams wrote with the Flash and all that stuff, like if I'm getting that in that book, definitely I want to get
they're Hal's portrayed as conservative, Ollie's portrayed as liberal.
Yeah.
They're like the first scene where he's talking to the black guy. He goes, "You help the blue skins, the green skins, the orange. Watch anything for the black skins." And at some point I said, Hal's next line should have been, "Bitch, please, I saved the universe. You're part of that." But again, like I said, it was 1970.
Here's the funny thing. Even if you would have had like Jon Stewart, but then be like, "Oh, so you're following the white man's lead."
Well, he was introduced later in that run.
Yeah.
Archie Giant 151.
But even I mean, I like the action stuff, comedy stuff. Yeah.
Although there's not a lot of humor in that.
Oh,
in that
there
run.
isn't. Oh,
no.
Dang.
But again, like I said, if you're into comics enough to care about comics history at all, it's worth reading, and you can get the trades cheap.
Yeah.
They've been reprinted.
Because the series I get with Oliver Queen is the Mike Grell stuff.
Oh, the Mike Grell stuff is much better written.
Yeah.
But it was also, 16 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Tomb of Dracula 32.
No, the poor guy knocked out his wheelchair.
This is a cool story because he finally beats Dracula and he's like slowly killing him.
Yep.
Then he gets a phone call from a couple of Dracula's brides. They're holding Rachel hostage and said if he dies, she dies. So he has to let him live. There's 33.
And I'm probably Rachel been like cliche. No, kill him.
Oh, absolutely. Vault of Evil number 12.
Oh.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of Vault of Evils pop up in my shop.
Our Army at War.
It's like all of a sudden, like they just like everybody's just selling their Vault of Evils or something croaked off.
They're 50 years old and they weren't that big of sellers to begin with.
I know, but they're randomly just showing up in my shops now.
Dark Shadows number 12 from the Gold Key series.
They got Dark Shadows number 1 in my shop.
How much?
Trying to remember. I'm guessing 60 maybe.
That's it.
Yeah.
Damn.
But I'm not sure if it's Gold Key though. It might be the
if Dynamite, the whole set isn't worth 60.
Yeah. I can remember what the price was.
Confessions of the Lovelorn 110.
Remember, it looked like
really love the stories in the AGC romance books. Girls Love. There's Our Love Story number 12.
Is these what you want to read tomorrow with me?
And Teen Confessions 63. Could use a pressing.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Could use a pressing or it's depressing.
No, could use a pressing.
Right.
Wow. True love.
True love. We'll be away for true love. Yeah. All right, guys. Oh, man. What's up, Jackson? What's up? What's going on?
Hey,
Eric Breen, Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man, number 43. It's a nice burn cover. And also, Geekeasy, if you need to jump out, go ahead.
Don't jump in the back of your legs.
You mentioned something in in one of the earlier books that someone was saying the magic word. Was that please that he was supposed to be using?
What?
Thunder Guy or whatever his name was. Never mind. Bad joke.
Well,
Thunder Guy.
it's JSA.
See you.
Say you.
The magic words.
And I just realized something.
The magic word is rock and roll, dude.
I also just realized something, man.
What?
A lot of people might not like Godzilla because of his religion.
Oh my god.
He's a kaiju.
Oh boy.
Ow!
And you're gonna say he's a terrorist.
Oh,
No, I didn't say he's a
brother.
terrorist. I just said that he was-
Brother, this guy stinks. I'm sick. Trying to recreate that SpongeBob clip.
I'll just say I'll take the Godzilla versus King Kong, Justice League over the Millie Bobby Brown movie.
Actually,
the
the
only
first
thing-
one was good. The King of the Monsters was really good. King of Monsters was great.
Is that where Mom dies?
That's the one with Rodan and King Ghidorah and Mothra.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was really good.
Let's say
That's
something.
probably the best of the Godzilla movies.
Let's say something real quick. Henry, Shooter actually, I loved his Avengers run. And the Korvac saga said Perez had back problems. He may have just claimed he did because boy did he and Shooter not like each other. But anyway, the 2 days ago on Yul Carter's Fantastic Comics, myself and Joker Rollo eulogized Jim Shooter. If you haven't checked it out, please do so. It was a good show, I thought.
You know what? I haven't seen enough people credit him for creating She-Hulk. I would think that more people would talk about that, but I have not seen hardly anybody mention that.
He created a lot of characters, didn't he?
Yeah,
he did a lot of Legion of Superheroes. She-Hulk, Titania, and Volcana from the Secret Wars. Those are all the ones that I know of.
Do you know why they actually decided to create She-Hulk?
Yeah, to keep DC from getting the trademark.
Really?
Because it was they were the Hulk TV show. They were trying to keep. There was talk about making a She-Hulk TV show, so Marvel went and made Stanley created She-Hulk just to keep the TV people from making a show first.
Huh.
What I heard.
They didn't want DC making
name
a
either
Hulk character.
Yeah. Shadowlass, he did. He said he had Titania.
Karate Kid.
Yeah.
Karate Kid.
Paladin.
Arrow
Lad.
Yeah.
Nemesis Kid.
Yeah. Mordru. Then he had the Fatal Five.
The Fatal Five. Yep, you're right.
Yep. Dominators.
And the Kuns.
Yep.
It's crazy to think about. Yeah, I was reading in it that Submariner I showed tonight.
Yeah.
That was written by Jerry Conway when he was 19. He was working, on half of Marvel titles. But then I said Shooter doing that at 13 and 14.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Blew my mind.
He wrote the first 2 issues of Captain Action also.
He's got Volcana, Princess Projecta. They're DC. He also did the Wanderers. That was the other one he did. They're an Adventure Comics 375.
I saw somebody the other night. I was watching a stream, and somebody tried to say that Tom DeFalco was a better editor than Jim Shooter was, and I was like, I almost started.
Tom DeFalco was probably second.
Yeah,
but
Archer Armstrong is the one that's still going today, isn't it?
Yeah, Shooter just, like I said, and we talked about this Tuesday night. What he did for Marvel was give us the 5 best years of its history, not counting the first 5. And his abrasiveness drove the people over to DC that gave us the new Teen Titans and Crisis on Infinite Earths. So, and you could make a case that he saved both companies and therefore the industry, because the industry was in some trouble in the late 70s. That's why, Marvel didn't introduce a new character in a first issue of a comic for about 4 years. Everything was licensed products.
And sometimes if you want to, get something to keep from failing, you have to be you can't be pleasant most of the time.
No.
I mean, you have to push people, and some people can do it and be nice about it, but that's generally not the way it works. You're gonna piss some people off if you need to.
Well, it's 40 years later. People still talk about Miller's Daredevil, Claremont Burns' X-Men, Burns' Fantastic Four, Simon's Thor.
Yep.
more people should talk about Denny O'Neil's Iron Man, Roger Stern's Avengers.
Yep.
I just read those Spectacular Spider-Mans I showed off. They were all written by Roger Stern. Yeah. They're all fantastically written. And half of them were done by Marie Severin, which another bit of comic book history there.
Do you remember William Burnside? Shooter's credited with that as far as that too. When they actually, I guess, it was Shooter, McKenzie, Roger McKenzie, Sal Buscema, and Steve Englehart. Because basically, there's Captain America in the 50s. Then she becomes brainwashed and becoming a leader of a white supremacist cult with a brainwashed Sharon Carter. So,
okay, but speaking of things that people don't like, Breen, you're talking before we started about the issues people had with Cap #1. What was some of the? What did you hear?
The inaccurate military portrayals.
Oh, that's most of the comic people. It's just, I read stuff all the time with these guys. Like, dude, seriously?
Henry's bringing up What If 3. That's actually one of my favorite single stories of all time. That's not Shooter. Gil Kane, Klaus Janson might be my favorite art all the way through a comic. It's just that's gorgeous,
dude. Mute yourself. You're gonna burp.
Yeah, I was just doing it I was just doing it before I.
I said I'm probably gonna jump off here in a minute because I haven't eaten yet, so I didn't think we'd go this long with as few books that we had.
Yeah, I know it's kind of weird.
But
I also have to be up in like 5 hours, 6 hours. So
yeah, you gotta drive.
I do.
So we'll wrap it up here. For those who are watching over on Twitch, check us over on YouTube. Geeky Puppet Show is over here, so you guys can actually see. Oh, wrong banner's on. That's why. But anyway, it is at Geeky, the same as on Twitch as it is on YouTube at Geeky Puppet Show, all one word. And we'll see you guys on Saturday. First Saturday morning, there will be a live stream or not, well, pre-recorded, and then Saturday night should be Return of the Teenage Ninja Turtles issue 37 of the band issues or something like that. I don't know. I may do something tomorrow. I might do a reading either by myself or if Breen, Breen, are you going by your sisters?
No, I'm not going anywhere tomorrow.
Or if you feel like doing something instead of being,
I might. Depends on.
I don't know what sports are on tomorrow when 4th of July.
Reds play during the day.
Yeah, but
there's games on from 11 in the morning till 1 in the morning. So
well, you're welcome to join me. I'm not sure what I'm doing, but maybe a Captain America story or something. Who knows?
Shoot, the Lesters might not be out all day tomorrow.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I reached out to the Lesters. I told them like if they decide they want to do something, reach out to me.
Yeah,
but they're probably doing something. But so anyway,
good.
Before Zach hurts himself, we're gonna end it right here.
Good night, kids.
Later, guys.
Have a good 4th in Louisiana. I promise.
Have a good 4th. Stay safe and avoid people letting out their own fireworks.
Unless you are that person, in which case,
you can light off other people's fireworks.
God, I gotta admit, there was way less this year on the night before than the previous years.
See, same here, but I think what's going to happen is just going to go the rest of the week.
They're still popping by me. They've been going for the last hour and change.
Yeah, Zach, I affectionately refer to this is like the 12 days of the 4th of July.
Yep.
Yeah.
Redneck neighborhoods.
Yep.
Which this is like redneck adjacent. So there have been years where it's been really obnoxious and all pervasive. Hadn't been at all this year.
It's almost 7:30 here, and you can see how light it is. So we don't have anything going yet.
Oh, that doesn't stop. That doesn't stop people in this neighborhood.
So we're supposed to have hot weather and chances of rain, maybe. But right now we're kind of in a drought.
Like I said, I don't know. I guess during the day, the only thing that makes any sense to set off are things that make noise, because they're really the stuff that sparkles in the sky kind of wasted during the day. So I get it, but it's like it's still. I've never understood what the thrill is of just hearing something go bang in the first place, unless you're blowing something up with like your M80, other than in your hand.
I mean, there's a lot of people who just like setting off explosions, and those are the people you got to worry about.
But there is something therapeutic about it.
But if it's just the firecracker itself, it just seems like I would wrap it up in something so you get a,
I don't mind if they do it as long as it's not. The problem is that a lot of neighborhoods are so close together. You shoot a bottle rocket, it's going to land on my roof, and start my roof on fire. That's what I like. If you're out somewhere else where you have farm property, you have like land, rural, go ahead, do that. I don't care. As long as you are taking the precautions and not going to start a fire.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we're doing it again. Say goodnight.
We are.
Nothing here, but I'm expecting a lot of tomorrow and Saturday. Yes, exactly. So, yep. We'll see you guys. And anyway, like I said, hopefully everyone on panel will have all their fingers the next time we see each other.
I make no promises.
All right. I'll see you guys later.
See you later.
Okay.
We'll see. All right, later, guys.
Dixel could blow up his finger trying to throw something.
He'd still have 2 fingers left.
Blow off his finger and would still have a reasonable finger left.